There once lived a man with a dark blue beard and a castle filled with silence. People whispered his name only in secret, for every woman who married him vanished. Yet despite the fear, one young woman entered his castle, and deep inside those endless halls, behind a single locked door, waited a horror she would never forget. Bluebeard was richer than almost any nobleman in the kingdom. He owned forests, horses, ships, and a vast castle hidden beyond the dark hills. Its towers rose above the trees like shadows against the sky. Yet no one envied him, because wherever Bluebeard traveled, fear followed. Children hid behind their mothers, servants lowered their eyes, and whispers filled every village road. Some believed his wives had abandoned him. Others believed something far worse, for no one had ever seen them again. Still, one young woman became fascinated by him. Unlike the others, Bluebeard spoke softly. He smiled gently, and behind his strange appearance, she thought she saw loneliness. Eventually, she agreed to marry him. After the wedding, Bluebeard brought his young bride through the iron gates of the castle. The enormous halls echoed with silence. Golden candles flickered along endless corridors. Ancient portraits watched from the shadows. At night, rain struck the castle windows, and distant thunder rolled through the hills. Yet the castle was beautiful. Every room contained wonders. Jewels from distant kingdoms, silk curtains, silver mirrors, long banquet tables glowing beneath candlelight. For several days, the castle filled with music and celebration. Bluebeard seemed kind, almost loving, but sometimes, late at night, his wife noticed him staring silently into the darkness, as though he feared something hidden inside the castle itself. One morning, Bluebeard announced that he must leave on a long journey. Before departing, he placed a ring of golden keys into his wife's hands. These keys open every room in the castle, he told her. You may go wherever you wish. Then slowly, his expression darkened. There is only one room you must never enter. At the very end of a cold stone corridor stood a small black door. No windows, no light, only silence. No matter what happens, Bluebeard whispered, do not open it. And with that, he rode away into the storm. At first, the young wife obeyed him. She wandered through the castle freely. She explored magnificent libraries, silent gardens, and endless candlelit halls. Yet each night, the forbidden key seemed heavier in her hands. The small black door haunted her thoughts. Why had Bluebeard sounded so afraid? What could possibly be hidden there? Soon, every sound inside the castle began to disturb her. The creaking floorboards, the whispering wind beneath the doors, the distant echoes of footsteps. Sometimes, she imagined someone watching her from the darkness. And slowly, curiosity became terror, but terror became curiosity once again, until finally, she could no longer resist. Late that night, while thunder shook the castle walls, she carried a single candle through the dark corridor. The flame trembled in her hands. The cold stone walls seemed endless. Finally, she stood before the black door. Silence filled the corridor. Slowly, the golden key entered the lock. The door opened. Inside, the air smelled cold and rotten. The candlelight revealed something horrifying. Bodies, motionless, hanging silently in the darkness. Bluebeard's previous wives. Their pale faces stared toward her from the shadows. The stone floor beneath them was stained with blood. The young woman froze in terror. Her candle fell, and the golden key slipped from her trembling hand. When she picked it up again, blood covered the key forever. No matter how desperately she scrubbed it, the stain remained. That same night, hoofbeats echoed outside the castle gates. Bluebeard had returned. Far earlier than expected, rain poured across the courtyard as he entered the great hall. At once, he demanded the keys. His wife tried to remain calm, but when Bluebeard saw the blood-stained key, his face changed completely. The kindness disappeared from his eyes. Only rage remained. "You entered the room." His voice sounded colder than the storm outside. The young woman backed away in terror. Bluebeard slowly drew his sword. "You will join the others before dawn." Terrified, the young woman begged for mercy. Bluebeard allowed her only a few final moments to pray, but instead, she climbed the tower stairs and searched the distant hills. Long ago, her brothers had promised to visit her. Now, she prayed they would arrive before sunrise. Below her, Bluebeard waited impatiently, sword in hand. The heavy sound of his footsteps echoed through the castle, closer and closer, again and again. She looked toward the dark horizon. At first, there was nothing. Only storm clouds, only rain, only darkness. Then finally, far in the distance, she saw horses racing toward the castle. As Bluebeard climbed the tower stairs, the castle gates burst open. The young woman's brothers stormed inside with swords drawn. Thunder roared across the sky. Bluebeard turned in fury. Steel clashed inside the candlelit hall. The shadows trembled against the walls. But at last, Bluebeard fell, and the terrible secret hidden within the castle ended forever. The young woman inherited Bluebeard's fortune, but she never forgot the darkness hidden behind his gentle smile. For sometimes, the most dangerous monsters look perfectly human, and sometimes, the most terrifying doors are the ones we are told never to open.